Good morning. Good morning. Do you have lacrosse ball, foam roller, yoga block?
Yep.
Okay.
I have a ball.
Okay. Very nice. Is your mom right next to you?
Basically, yeah.
Oh, awesome. I love it. Cool. All right. Good morning. Okay, looks like it's just the three of you today, as always, dedicated fixers. All right, so I do have obviously a routine specifically to mobilizing the joints, but is there anything in particular that is aching, dull, tight that you guys are experiencing right now? Okay, Charmaine says yes. Esther's face is kind of like something.
No, it's because Dillis said yes.
Oh, okay, Dillis, what are you feeling?
My shoulder.
Your shoulders. Okay,
Yes.
front, side, both, all back.
Right here.
Which side? Both?
Left.
So
Left.
like tight here, tight here. Okay, don't worry.
Right.
Everyone's got a tennis ball, lacrosse ball. What about foam roller or yoga block? Either can work. We're just gonna do some thoracic opening up as well. Cool. Okay. I think she went to go. Great. Okay. You can put the lacrosse ball down first. First, we're just going to work on opening up a couple of the main joints. So obviously, we'll start with the neck first, as you normally would. Remember, anytime that we start that watch, do you put it to flexibility? Yep. Okay. Started mine too. All right. So anytime that we're doing any of the joints, we do want to stay relatively stiff. The biggest thing is squeezing your hands so you have that tightness. But what we're looking for first with the neck is just making as big of circles as we can. And as we're leading our head, think about the direction in which we're going. Okay. And that part of your head is what's coming down to its full range of motion. So if I'm coming down, I'm trying to bring my chin. If I'm going to the side, I'm trying to bring my ear. If I'm coming to the back of my head is trying to get as low as possible, and then my ear and my chin. So go ahead and do that 6 times each way, trying to get a little bit of a bigger range of motion every single time. As we're doing this, yes, our arms are straight and our fists are tight, but keeping those shoulders away from our ear. So rotate 6 ways left and then switch 6 ways to the right. If you do feel a part where it's a little bit tight, spend a little bit more time going extremely slow through that area. All right. Okay. So a couple things we're still going to focus on the spine is we're going to go forward and back. So first we're going to push forward, keeping our shoulders back, and then we're going to come as back as possible, making that double chin. Okay. So I want to go forward, back, spend a couple minutes in each one. Again, if this hurts, we'll do 6 each way. And then we're going to go side to side. So first start forward and back. So as we're doing this, really think about pressing the back of the head, especially when we're going backwards, pressing the back of the head as if there was a wall there versus just moving the chin. And then we're going to do the same thing, trying to move our head from side to side. If you watch, keeping the shoulders, use the camera as a visual, but shoulders stay down, moving my entire head side, including my chin and forehead staying in line, side to side versus just tilting your head. Is it kind of weird watching yourself? Again, as we're doing this, you should feel a stretch along the entire side of your neck. Okay, so now we're going to rotate it. Instead of leading with forehead, we're going to go around our head 6 times. So we're going forward to the left, again, keeping our head as straight as possible, and then 6 times the other way. So you're making a big circle. All right, next we're going to do our shoulders. So shoulders as you have. So we're looking at making as big of a rotation and range of motion. First, we're going to go forward. So first we come up, we bring them forward, we come down, we retract, we come up. My mom's trying to FaceTime me right now. So coming forward 6 times. Again, trying to get as big of a circle as possible. When we get to the bottom, think about retracting those shoulders, compressing them up, and then coming back down. 6 forward, and then 6 backwards. You feel a little niggle or little area that's crunching, try to spend a little bit more time with that. Okay, so now we're going to go right side. So making a fist, we're going to come all the way up. Okay, the goal of this cars is to come up and rotate through the joint versus the joint of the shoulder versus the joint of the wrist and or the elbow. So as we come up, okay, we want to think about rotating. Okay, first keeping our palm in line with our forearm is rotating our shoulder till we get to that sticking point. Then the palm can come down and all the way around. Again, when we feel that sticking point, stay with it, come down, and then come back. Same way. So we're trying to rotate that shoulder joint as much as we can. Externally rotate that out. And then internal rotation. So anytime doing this, I really like, so I'll hold here or hold my shoulder down to make sure that I'm not bringing it up. So we're really focusing on the joint itself versus the muscles that do surround it, which tend, the tighter the muscle, the less able the joint is actually able to rotate. So do about 3 on each side, then switch. Oof. So paying attention again, as we're rotating that armpit out, it's the armpit of the joint in the shoulder that's rotating versus trying to rotate our wrist and elbow to open up. All right, next we're gonna do the joint of our elbows. So our big thing on here is obviously most of the time we go in this direction. We know never go left to right. So I want us to think about keeping this flat and rotating around, again, keeping that fist as tight as possible, but trying to get the rotation in our elbow joint. I want 6 times around on your left and then 6 times. So 6 to the left, 6 to the right, on the right, and then we'll switch to our opposite side. Again, just trying to have only the one joint move. It's quite hard not to move the rest of them or lead with. All right, next we're gonna do spine. So 2 things we're gonna do with spine. The first one we're gonna do is cross over. Okay, and our goal is to rotate around, making as big of a circle. Second one, we're gonna go forward and down. So 6 ways, 6 each way. So crossing over, keeping those hips as static as possible. Keeping the hips as static as possible, trying to feel the rotation in your vertebrae as you come forward and around. Again, trying to keep those hips as static as possible, only moving above the hips. When you come forward, try to round out that back, keep that core tight. All right, so this next one, what we're going to do is we're going to think about standing straight up. Okay, and as I go down, I am looking to have as much bend in my spine as possible. So I'm going to bring my chin to my neck, and then from there, I'm thinking about every single vertebrae at a time, starting from the top all the way down, bending, 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 until I get as low as possible. When I get to the bottom, so right now I'm feeling it here, here, here. Now I'm at the lower part of my vertebrae, okay? As I come back up, I'm thinking about leading from the bottom all the way up. So I really want to think about rolling my spine. So right now, this is actually hard for me to come up. I'm really thinking about those vertebrae rather than rounding with my upper body, keeping my chin tucked, each vertebrae at the time, and then coming all the way back up. So start at the top, down, trying to focus on each of those areas as you're bending, which part of that vertebrae is coming along with you. Ending with a round in the back. And then as you come up, coming the opposite way.
as we're doing this, think about keeping the rest of your body tight, especially your lower body.
And let's repeat that 2 more times. Whew. Okay. Hips. Okay, so let's do some cars with our hips. If you have a wall or something to hold on to, our goal again is to get that hip open. So we'll start with the right hand side. Okay, as we're tight, we bring that knee up to a 90-degree angle, trying to keep 90-degree angle. We bring it to our side. As we bring it to our side, we find our end range. From here, we then raise our heel up, okay, and then swoop it behind. As we come behind, we should be in this position. We bring it back down and then we go up. We still keep that heel elevated as our knee comes around to the side. Then we bring it back down, bring it to the front, and then restart. So let's do that 3 times on the right hand side. So really think about slowing down the movement. Okay, slowing it down, being intentional with each part. Once you find that stick part, stay there for a little bit. We want to work as slow as possible through those sticking points. Your pelvic should be straight and in line with one another, to making sure we're not bending one way versus the other to overcompensate. So Esther, one thing I want you to focus on is as we're coming around and in this position, okay, your knee is coming good here. I want you to really focus on getting that heel up a little bit higher, keeping it there as we come around, and then dropping it back down. Yeah, so as we're coming out here, okay, I want that heel to be underneath your knee. Then once we're here, then it comes up and we bring it around. Heel, yep. Now raise it up. Good. Good. And then Dillis, what I want you, as you're bringing that knee up, bring it out here, pause, then heel comes up, pause, then bring it up, keep that heel up, heel up, heel up, heel up, pause, then down. There we go, good. Good. Our goal is to try to get that, even that we might find a sticking point is keeping it high. And as we bring it out, keeping it high versus allowing it to drop. Really fight for that range of motion at the end to then bring that heel up and around. Normally this is where we get to that sticking point, squeeze that butt, keep it tight, come all the way around and down. Good. All right, let's go ahead and grab that lacrosse ball. Okay, we're gonna take the lacrosse ball into our calf. Okay, Dela is in the way. Okay, so we're gonna put that lacrosse ball underneath our calf. first, we're gonna start on the medius part, which is the middle, okay? And we're gonna roll side to side. Deal it. Move your butt. Okay, so we're gonna move side to side. Now you wanna apply as much pressure on as you like, but obviously you're gonna find a point where it's a little bit stickier. Okay, typically on the outside of the calf. So I want you to think about, you're rolling it side to side, and then you're finding, so let's say start here, I bring it down a little bit more. The goal is to get lower into closer to the ankle. The closer you get to the ankle, the more stickiness you're gonna feel. So if you find that stickiness, that's where you want to stay. Release the ball into that area until the pain goes away, and then move it. So one thing this will help with also is flexibility, flexion in the ankles, especially if calves are tight, both the front and the back. Oh yeah. So we should be moving down closer to our Achilles, which is in the back, connecting both our heel to our calf. Are we finding sticky points? Thumbs up. Great. Are we staying with that sticky point? Thumbs up. Okay, great. Oh. And rolling back and forth. All right, let's go ahead and switch to the other leg. So again, starting with the medial part, getting used to that threshold. A little bit more on the outside here is where you're going to typically feel it, and then work your way down closer to that ankle. It's rare that we actually get sore in our calves, but they are quite a big muscle that do connect essentially the feet to the hips. So we want to make sure that we look after them as much as possible. Both feet back, the posterior and the anterior. Ow. A really good one if you're feeling your feet are actually getting quite sore from walking, hiking, running, is getting a calf massage and then doing the tibialis anterior, which is this area here. It's really good for just to get a good massage in. So again, moving back and forth, finding that sticking point, holding on to it. Ooh. So as you're doing this, also think about, do you have dorsiflexion? So are you flexing your foot or is it straight? Okay. So as we're doing this, there are different muscles that are used to being able to pull your toes back, right? So if I'm in this flex position, right, my muscles are going to be a little bit tighter versus if I extend it out, they're going to be a little bit looser. So you'll notice that you'll also be able to get a little bit deeper if your feet are straight, okay, like this, than they would be if they were flexed. All right. Okay. So we're also going to do a little bit of the pec area. We do have the bench press coming up. So Dillis, we're going to do a couple different variations, obviously for shoulders. We're going to need the lacrosse ball first. Let's do pecs. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay down on the ground and we're going to take the ball. We're essentially going to find that sweet spot. Now, 2 ways of doing this, first and foremost, is we're just going to lay flat, find it, and hold. Okay. Another way, what you can do is sweep the hand from your pocket of your hips all the way up, keeping your palm down, and you'll find a couple more sticking points. Because as we're doing this, the muscles are actually moving. So when we get to this position, we're actually able to get a little bit deeper. But what I would suggest first is move it around, see where you find that piece. And then what you can do is you can move your hand and see if you can get a little bit deeper into that pec. We'll start with that first. And then we'll actually lay on the ball for our shoulders as well. Oh. So as we're doing this, think about putting your weight on that side where the ball is at, laying into it. Oh, yeah. Oftentimes when we find a little bit of our shoulders being immobile, it's a lot of tightness that it's pulling those shoulders forward. Okay, deal. I know. How's this feeling? Good? Thumbs up? All right. So next, what we're going to do is stay on that same arm. Okay. So you have your anterior part of your delt and you have your posterior. So what I actually want you to do is put now the ball on your shoulder. Okay. So as we're laying down, okay, I want you to think about rolling back and forth on the front part. Okay. She wants to play. Okay. Okay. So I want you to roll back and forth on the front part. Okay, you'll feel a little clicking here, that's fine. But I want you to roll back and forth on the front, and then we're going to move to the side, and then we're going to move to the back. Okay, so it's actually physically sitting on your shoulder and rolling back and forth. Especially on that top cap of the shoulder. All right, so now roll onto your side. Okay. Oh, come on, Missy. All right, can I have this? Let go. Go. Okay. So now from the side, okay, I want you to think about hand in front. Okay, so bring your hand in the front and you're rolling side to side on your side of your delt. Oh. Again, the more of the top cap of the delt you can get. And then we want to get all the way to the bottom, which is where we normally see kind of that definition part coming into your bicep, tricep. All right, and then start rotating towards the back. Okay, again, we don't want to be fully laid on the back, but we still want to be able to apply pressure onto that delt. So hand is out to the side and I'm rolling back and forth up to the top of the cap, all the way down, side to side. Good. And we're still trying to stay on that shoulder versus actually going into our back. Oh. Feeling some stickiness. Yes, lots. Okay. It's almost a hurt. It hurts, but it feels good. All right, let's go ahead and switch to the other side. Now, the tighter all of these are, so again, we're starting off with the pec, so putting the ball into the front pec, which is the breast muscle that connects the shoulder into the front of your body. Oh. So sweeping that hand through if you find a sticky part. Oof. Now remember, we want all of these muscles as loose as possible. And when I say loose, we want them to be able to have full range that protect the joint. So if we need to bring our hands over our head, if we need to push our hands away, our joints can move, but our muscles are protecting and working with them. All right, go ahead and move to the front of the shoulder. So the anterior part of the deltoid, okay, rolling back and forth. Oh. Okay, eat your food. Not your ball. Go ahead and move to the side. So again, putting your hand in front and rolling side to side. So on the side of your delt. And then moving to the back of it. But again, not laying your back all the way down, still having and applying. You can use your opposite arm to press yourself away. So if you need to take that body weight from pressing entirely into that ball, you can. Now, you can also take, if let's say this small back area is also a little bit tender, you can take the ball and now lay it on your back and put it in that area. Okay, you can also do that with your traps after. Now, right now, what I want us to do is thoracic spine. So if you have a yoga block or a foam roller, what we're looking at doing, remember this, the thoracic spine is this part here between your lumbar and your upper scaps. So this itself needs to be super mobile. So in like our overhead squats the other day of being able to get our armpit to show the front of the room, okay, and squatting down, it tends to be a bit tight. So what you do is you either take a foam roller and we're gonna place it on our thoracic spine and we're gonna bring our head through, okay? And what we're actually going to do is a couple things. We're going to keep our head off the ground, put our arms over our head, okay? And then we're gonna tip. I'll show you from the side, okay? So you can use it with a yoga block as well, or foam roller. I'll show you both, but we're basically doing it. You have a yoga block?
Yeah.
Okay, do you got a book? What's you can actually use that dumbbell that you got right there. So what we're trying to do is we're just trying to get some flexion in our back like this, okay? So even if it was like a yoga block or a weight, I would put it here. Okay, so I have from here, because what we're gonna be doing is tilting our hips up and down, okay, with our head over. So we just need something to place our lower back on. So try it with the dumbbell. The dumbbell will be on the two sides of your spine, okay? Head is down, arms are overhead, okay, flat if you can. And then we're gonna tilt our hips down and up. Yep, so now Charmaine, put your hands over your head. There we go, good. Okay, now you have it on the small of your back, you have the weight on the small of your back? Yeah, so roll it down a little bit more. There we go, good. Good, Dillis, I want you to keep your hips down, okay? So we're here, and what we're thinking about is tilting down and up, but our butt cheeks stay on the ground. So we're looking at pressing into that yoga block or that dumbbell that we have underneath, and then letting it go, okay? So as we're here, hands overhead, so we get a little bit more mobile in our shoulders, and then pressing down. Now, the other thing you can do is put your hands overhead and then bring your head through, keeping your hands on the ground, bringing that head through, and then back. So tilt those hips a couple times. Bring the head up. So Dillis, I want your hands straight out above your head. There we go, all the way on the ground. Good. Good, now keep those hands down and bring your head through. There we go, good. FYI, this is gonna cut out in 1 minute because they just gave me a notification. So keep doing this, but then what I also want you to do, okay, is take that lacrosse ball at the end, okay? And I want you to put it in your front hip. You're gonna lay down, front hip, hold it here, okay? Rotate it around, right on your psoas here. Rotate it around, feel that pinchy spot, then move it to the opposite side. So you got about 3 minutes holding it on each of these, 3 minutes on holding the opposite side once it does cut off. Okay, so keep doing this. Again, pushing your head through as much as you can. Arms straight, feeling that stretch in the front, but also thoracic spine. And then move to putting the ball in your psoas.